So hello folks, I hope we are well, fine and good. So let us begin the session regarding CISA threat advisory, and we will be understanding the concepts of four critical vulnerabilities that are eventually been added uh, to KE known exploit vulnerability category. So we will be going through each and everything in detail. So I really apologize for any kind of background issues or any kind of background effects. As you know, right? So I belongs to India, as I have well stated in last previous videos, with a small village in a very small country. Not a country, but I can say a very small village, underpopulated, under poverty. So even though, right, so there are certain things which make me aware about that most of my viewers are from India along with US. So that's the reason why I request each and every Indians who have been watching, please be aware about your education. And because most of Indians do not get their proper education just because of the craziness they actually hide, because they need money within days. They do not wait for that. So that's where India stucks about. So let us begin. I will not be wasting your time. So let us begin about that concepts regarding four critical vulnerabilities. So active exploitation actually confirmed in simple help along with Samsung Magic Info and D-Link infrastructure. So coming to the threat update, right, folks? So here the threat update actually highlights that the cybersecurity and infrastructure agencies, or we can even say CISA, has recently added four new identified vulnerabilities, okay, to KEV, okay, known exploited vulnerability category due to confirmed real world weaponization. So when we discuss about the attack surface, right, affected deeply embedded enterprise tools. What are the deeply enterprise tools here? They are Key Help, I have highlighted here, Key Help remote support, Samsung Magic Info 9 server, and D-Link and IDR 823X network routers. So the mandate is all about under BOD 2201, a strict fiddle remediation deadline is set for early May 2026. Remediating patches are very, very, very crucial and necessary to upgrade the threat from any kind of threat actors. So coming to the standard CVE list, theoretical risk and mass scanning. So here it is signifies about how the risk category is. So CISA verified filter and CVE category, which has confirmed active exploitation. So unlike standard CVE, right, folks, unlike standard CVEs, inclusion in CVE category, so which eventually means the threat actor are active or already exploiting these specific flaws against live system in the wild. Okay, so network parameter, internal infrastructure, and access administration are very critical and needed. Why network parameter or perimeter is needed? Because it actually targets the node 1 D-Link IDR router. Node 2 is all about the Samsung Magic Info 9 server, because attacker compromise internal digital science and communication server. Along with that, node 3, that is all about the simple help router, which actually uh, becomes a bait of the user, because see, because the attacker hijacks the legitimate and high privilege administrative tunnels. So the threat surface is disrupt. Attacker are simultaneously having their strategies over the network to deeply to deep internal administrative layers, through which they can gain privileges, right? Extreme privileges they can get. So system CVE ID, vulnerability type, severity, CVS score, and exploitation impact. So simple help, I have a simple help along with a Samsung Magic Info and the link. I have explained here the IDs, whichever the IDs, and the vulnerability type, like misauthorization, path travel, not past travel, command rejection, are the vulnerability type which has been identified, along with the severity score, which is comes to be very critical. Most of them are very high in nature. So exploitation impacts all about privilege escalation, remediation, and remote code execution, and unprivileged or unauthorized access. So attack chain from key KEV to campaign. So when we discuss about the attack chain, folks, we need to understand unpatched key vulnerability, KEV and vulnerability, where simple help miss path travel, leading to exploit in the initial point of entry where ransom campaign happens. Similarly, Samsung D-Link, link flaunts, remote code execution, and botnet activity. So telemetry confirms attacker are not merely scanning; they are actually having their access these flaunts at a scale of to deploy any kind of automated bots that can eventually target the systems. Okay, so coming to the bidding operation and directive BOD 2022-01 requirement of CEB agencies, required action is eventually needed because the path of vulnerability stop using affected systems. Deadline is set to May 2026 by May 8. So uh, known exploit vulnerability impact mandate versus exposure. So federal civilian executive branch FEBC mandatory complaint strict timeline been enforced. Along with that, the private sector no regulatory mandate but identical threat been exposed. The ripple factor CISA strongly argues the private organization to adopt KV addition as the immediate baseline for enterprise patching. Along with that, they any exposure system facing any identical probability of the data breach can be exposed. So so this is all about the last and final slide of my video, where exploit is equal to parity risk vulnerability confirms the wild supercred standard of CVSS score. They must bypass the routine scheduled patch cycle. Along with the delay is equal to immediate compromise, and continuous monitoring are very 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 necessary for each and every analyst who have been identifying any kind of critical alert in within their system regarding vulnerability exploit. So security is no longer about patching, it's patching everything, but immediate patching must be required if it is critical. So let us end the video here itself for you folks. I hope you have enjoyed the session.